now revisit the WOMPUS world and build the knowledge base for the reduced WOMPUS world. What we call reduced is when the agent is actually exploring this bottom left corner of the cave. So the agent starts at position 1, 1, which is the column 1, row 1. And we know that this square or this room is safe. We're going to use propositional logic symbols such as Pij to represent the presence of a Pete in the room Ij. So I'm going to write Pij would be true if there is a Pete in Ij. Likewise, we're going to express that there is a breeze in some room or some square using the symbol B underscore Ij, I being the column and J being the row. So Bij would be true if there is a breeze in the square Ij. Okay, so the agent starts at the room 1, 1, and we know that this room is okay, right? There is no breeze, there is no Pete, there is no WOMPUS, and there is no stench. So we're going to express that there is no Pete in 1, 1 using the propositional symbol P11 negated. So it's going to be negation of P11. We also know from the background knowledge that a square is breezy if and only if there is an adjacent Pete. In other words, we're going to express that in this bottom left corner. We will have a breeze in 1, 1 if and only if, expressed with by the conditional here, there is either a Pete in 1, 2 or a Pete in 2, 1. So I'm going to write B11 if and only if P12 or P21. Likewise, there will be a breeze in 2, 1 if and only if there is either a Pete here, here, or here. So I'm going to write that as P21 if and only if P11 or P22 or P31. All right? So the agent is exploring this area. After the agent moves from room 1, 1 to room 2, 1, we know that it perceives a breeze in the room 2, 1, right? So I'm going to write that as B21. And we also know from the beginning that there is no breeze in 1, 1. So I'm going to write this as the first propositional sentences that express the knowledge that the agent knows about the presence of Petes and their breeze, and also about what it perceives from the environment, such as the fact that there is no breeze in 2, 1. Let's now call each of these statements in propositional logic as a rule, R1, R2, R3, R4, and R5. And we could ask questions about the knowledge base. For example, we could wonder whether there is a Pete in 1, 2. In other words, does KB entails P12? And does KB entails P22? So can we say, based on what we know already, and in terms of perception, in terms of the knowledge-based information, whether we could state that there is a Pete in 1, 2, or whether there is a Pete in 2, 2. Okay, so we're going to see how we could do that in a bit. But in the meantime, let's clarify first what's entailment versus inference. So entailment versus inference, it's important to take a break here and to express again entailment and inference in terms of semantics and syntax. Semantics goes along with entailment. Entailment means determining whether by model check-in a sentence alpha must be true or must hold in all models in which KB is true. So we like to write it as KB models alpha, means that is alpha true whenever KB is true. The syntax goes along with inference. In general, we like to determine entailment by what we call theorem proving. That is, apply rule of inferences to the knowledge base to build a proof of alpha without having to explicitly enumerate all possible models or all truth tables for KB and for alpha. So we like to write this as either KB implies alpha or KB infers alpha. All right? So it's important to distinguish between these two aspects of logic, the semantic, the syntax, in which when the semantics we talk about truth tables, models, and in syntax we talk about inference rules, etc. So, but how does entailment and inference are related to each other? This is an important question to understand how these two aspects can be put forward to build an intelligent agent. So we want to build an inference algorithm that is actually sound and complete. So soundness refers to what? It refers to the fact that we don't want to infer false formulas. That's pretty much it. That is, we want to use some inference algorithm that can only derive entailed sentences. So we can write this as follows. Using set builders, we need to find actually a sound inference algorithm such that all the inferred sentences using syntax must be a subset of the entailed sentences alpha using the knowledge base. All right, so inference must be actually, the inferred formula must be actually a subset of the entailed formulas. In other words, we want all provable formulas or propositions to be actually true. Completeness refers to deriving all entailed sentences. In other words, we really don't want to miss any true proposition that could be derived from the knowledge base. We write this using, again, set builders as follows. We want to have that actually now the true formulas must be actually derived from KB. In other words, the entailed sentences alpha from KB must be a subset of the inferred formula, right? So in other words, all true propositions must be provable using the inference algorithm. So this is a powerful way to see the connection between inference and entailment and do this bridge between the syntax and the semantics. Just also for the sake of completing our terminology, let's talk about validity and satisfiability. A sentence is called valid. So remember what we discussed in the previous slides, the notion of tautology. If it is true in all models. Example, true. P, or actually not P here. P implies P. P and P implies Q implies Q. So if you do the truth table of this different proposition, you will see that actually this truth table would lead to a true everywhere. No matter what the value of P is, the value of Q is, it will always be true. For true, it's a constant, so it is a tautology as well. Validity is actually connected to inference via what we call the deduction theorem, in which we say that KB entails alpha if and only if KB implies alpha is a valid proposition. A sentence is satisfiable if it is true in some model, for example, P or Q. For P or Q is some sort of contingency, and it could be satisfiable in some model. R also by itself, or a simple proposition, could be also satisfiable. A sentence is unsatisfiable if it is false, actually, no matter what the propositions are. In other words, it is true in no models. If you build the model with the truth table, you won't find this true anywhere. For example, P and not P, knowing that the connective conjunction is actually would be always putting these two propositions together would be always false. This sentences will be unsatisfiable no matter what P is. Finally, satisfiability is connected to inference via the following. So we say that KB entails alpha if and only if you take KB and not alpha, you will find it to be unsatisfiable. So if you want either to prove KB implies alpha, or if you show that KB and the negation of alpha can't be satisfiable. In other words, this can be proven by a contradiction. In other words, you could prove that KB entails the formula alpha by contradiction by showing that actually KB and the negation of alpha cannot be satisfiable or is unsatisfiable. Now let's go back to how to determine entailments. Given a knowledge base that is expressed as a set of sentences in propositional logic, and given a query alpha, we want to know whether KB entails alpha. All right? So we'll see, as we announced earlier, that we could do that in two ways, either using the semantics, using model check-in, that is enumerating all the models, truth tables, right? Or using what we call inference rules, also called proof check-in or theorem proving, in which we are going to use purely the syntax to see whether we could infer alpha from the knowledge base.